The content in this podcast is fully AI generated based on real news articles. Listener discretion is advised. For more detailed information and the original context, please refer to the links provided in the show notes, which direct you to the news articles this podcast is based on. Enjoy the show.
Welcome back, listeners. This is the AI Tech News Podcast, episode 24. I'm John, your host, and with me are Joanne and Jessica. How are you both doing today?
Hey, John. I'm doing great. Excited to dive into the latest tech news. How about you, Jessica?
Hi, everyone. I'm ready to discuss some intriguing updates, especially anything related to AI. Let's get started.
Awesome. This is the first article of the episode. We have some exciting news from Apple's WWDC, which might include AI-generated emoji and an OpenAI partnership, according to The Verge.
That sounds interesting. So Apple is allowing chatbots to integrate more deeply into its operating systems. And it looks like OpenAI's ChatGPT might be the first to get in on the action.
Exactly, Joanne. But Apple is also in talks with Google to integrate their Gemini AI and even Anthropic. It seems like they want to cover all their bases, especially considering the recent controversy involving OpenAI and Scarlett Johansson.
It's smart for Apple to explore multiple partnerships. One big feature rumored to be announced is a smart recap that summarizes missed texts, notifications, and other media. That would be a game changer for iOS users who struggle with notification overload.
Oh, definitely. Managing notifications can be such a hassle, and if this feature can summarize web pages, news articles, and documents too, it's like having a personal assistant.
Right, Joanne? It also vaguely echoes Microsoft's recall feature, which tracks and makes your computer actions searchable. Apple's implementation could be really useful.
Another exciting update is the Voice Memo app potentially getting AI-generated transcripts. This could be a huge help for students or professionals who rely on recordings for later reference.
Yes, having accurate transcripts would save so much time. And Apple already has features like auto-generated voicemail transcripts, so this feels like a natural progression.
Apple is also planning AI-powered improvements to on-device Spotlight search, Safari internet searches, and writing suggestions for emails and texts. Plus, they might use AI for photo retouching and generating emoji on the fly.
The idea of generating emoji based on what you're texting sounds fun, but also risky. Remember Meta's AI stickers incident? Let's hope Apple has learned from those mistakes.
Yeah, AI can sometimes get it wrong in the most hilarious or awkward ways. But Apple's approach seems practical, focusing on improving existing features with AI enhancements.
Exactly. Apple is also working on a more natural-sounding voice for Siri and better functionality on the Apple Watch. Most of these new features will work on devices released in the last year or so, with more complex tasks offloaded to Apple's servers.
And outside of AI, they might announce an iOS 18 feature to let users change their app icons to different colors. Plus, users could finally place app icons anywhere on the home screen.
That would be a welcome change. Customizing the home screen without the top-to-bottom, left-to-right constraint sounds fantastic. It's about time, don't you think?
Absolutely. It's those little customization options that make a big difference in user experience. Apple is clearly stepping up its game with these updates.
Indeed. That wraps up our first article. Next, we're talking about Microsoft confirming the hardware requirements for the Windows 11 Recall AI feature. Stay tuned. All right, folks, moving on to our next topic. Microsoft has confirmed the hardware requirements for the Windows 11 Recall AI feature, and it's pretty intense. This comes from Windows Latest.
Oh, what's the scoop, John? Why are the requirements so high?
Well, Joanne, Microsoft has launched its Surface lineup with Intel AI processors and consumer editions with Snapdragon X chips. But the new recall feature for upcoming Copilot Plus PCs with Windows 11 is exclusive to Snapdragon X processors because Intel and AMD chips don't meet the minimum hardware requirements of 40 TOPS.
Wow, that's quite a restriction. So only Snapdragon X processors can handle this recall feature. I wonder why Microsoft is being so selective.
It's all about performance. Snapdragon X processors provide the necessary power with up to 45 TOPS, while Intel and AMD can't match that. Microsoft wants to ensure a quality experience and data security.
I see. The hardware requirements are hefty too. Snapdragon X Elite or X Plus, 40 TOPS, 225GB storage, and 16GB RAM. That's a tall order for many current PCs.
Right, but what exactly is recall? It sounds like a powerful tool.
Recall is essentially a supercharged timeline preview. It records everything you do on your PC, including app usage and conversations, and saves snapshots locally. This way, you can search through your past actions to find specific information or revisit conversations.
That could be incredibly useful, especially for locating files or browsing history. You can even give commands in natural language, making it very user-friendly.
And it's reassuring that the data is stored locally, not in the cloud. Privacy is always a concern with these features, but it seems Microsoft has thought that through.
Absolutely. You can delete snapshots, adjust settings, or pause recall if needed. Plus, there are filters to prevent certain apps from being recorded.
I like the sound of that. So when can users expect to try out Recall?
Unfortunately, Recall won't be available until the September-October 2024 update. But there are other AI features to look forward to in the meantime.
Like live caption translations and auto super resolution for upscaling apps. Those will be great additions, especially for accessibility and multimedia use.
And don't forget the enhanced image and text generation with Co-Creator, which is being rebranded from Paint Co-Creator. Plus, Windows Studio Effects will improve camera and audio quality.
These features are exclusive to the new Copilot PCs, which promise impressive battery life and performance. Microsoft claims they're 58% faster than the MacBook Air M3.
That's quite a bold claim. It will be interesting to see how these new devices stack up once they're available.
Indeed. Well, that wraps up our discussion on Microsoft's Windows 11 Recall AI hardware requirements. Next up, we'll talk about how Google AI on Android is helping you work smarter wherever you are. Stay tuned. All right, everyone, let's dive into our next article. It's all about Google AI on Android and how it's helping people work smarter no matter where they are. This info comes from The Keyword, Google's product and technology news blog.
Sounds like a lot of exciting new features. What are some of the highlights, John?
Well, Joanne, Google AI on Android is rolling out new tools to boost productivity, assist developers in building smarter apps, and enhance business security. For instance, employees can use Gemini on Gmail to summarize emails, get suggested replies, and ask questions on the go.
That's fantastic. Summarizing long email threads and getting suggested replies can save so much time. What else is new?
Another great feature is the Recorder app on Pixel devices. It can automatically transcribe in-person meetings, which is perfect for executive assistants and project managers.
Automatic transcription? That's a game changer. No more frantically scribbling notes during meetings.
And developers aren't left out either. They can use Gemini Nano to build generative AI features for their apps and access powerful compute resources with Vertex AI Studio.
Exactly. Google is providing new APIs and tools to simplify the software development process. Developers can build and test AI models to classify images, analyze text, translate languages, and more without needing complex coding.
That's great for startups and smaller teams. They can get their apps to market faster with these tools. What about security features?
Google has also introduced AI-powered protection and security controls. Businesses can manage on-device data security, set permissions, and control AI features with Gemini Business and Gemini Enterprise from Google Workspace.
And they've got a theft detection lock feature. If a device gets stolen, it can detect the motion and immediately lock down to protect sensitive information.
That's reassuring. Data security is a major concern for businesses, and these features will definitely help mitigate risks.
Absolutely. The future of work looks more capable with AI, and Google is making sure their tools are helpful for everyone. These features show how AI is transforming the workplace.
I'm particularly excited about how these AI features can streamline everyday tasks and make us more efficient. It's a big step forward for mobile productivity.
Same here, Jessica. It's great to see AI being integrated in such practical and impactful ways. Can't wait to see how these tools will evolve.
Indeed. Well, that wraps up our discussion on Google AI on Android. Next up, we'll talk about Amazon's plans to give Alexa an AI overhaul and introduce a monthly subscription price. Stay tuned. All right, let's move on to our next topic. Amazon is planning to give Alexa a significant AI overhaul and introduce a monthly subscription fee. This comes from CNBC.
A subscription fee for Alexa? That's interesting. What are the details, John?
Well, Joanne, Amazon is upgrading Alexa with generative AI to make it more conversational. This new version is set to launch later this year. However, it won't be part of the Prime membership, and Amazon hasn't decided on the price yet.
So they're not bundling it with Prime? That's surprising. I thought they'd integrate it to add more value to Prime memberships.
Yeah, it seems they're aiming to offset the cost of the advanced AI technology with a separate subscription fee. This move is likely to better compete with AI chatbots from companies like Google and OpenAI.
It's interesting how they're pivoting. Alexa was revolutionary when it first came out, but with recent advancements in AI, its capabilities do feel a bit outdated.
True. OpenAI's GPT-4o and Google's generative AI features are pushing the envelope. These tools offer much deeper two-way conversations and real-time translation capabilities.
Exactly. Amazon's former SVP of devices, David Limp, hinted at this new direction last year. The pressure has been on since Jeff Bezos left and Andy Jassy took over as CEO.
Right? Bezos was quite passionate about Alexa, and his support meant more resources with less pressure for immediate returns. But that changed with Jassy, who focused on making the business more efficient.
It seems like Jassy wasn't impressed with Alexa's capabilities either. There's a story about him asking Alexa for a live sports score and getting frustrated when it couldn't provide an answer that was easily available online.
Yes, that incident highlighted the need for Alexa to evolve. The team has undergone a massive reorganization, with many members shifting to the artificial general intelligence team.
It's a big task, but turning Alexa into a more relevant and capable device is essential, especially given the competition in the AI space.
Amazon has sold over 500 million Alexa-enabled devices, so they definitely have a strong consumer base. Enhancing Alexa's capabilities could solidify their position.
Exactly. And with these new AI features, Amazon aims to make Alexa more intelligent and useful. We'll see how the subscription model plays out and if consumers are willing to pay extra for these enhancements.
It's going to be an interesting transition. AI is transforming so many aspects of technology, and voice assistants are no exception.
Absolutely. Well, that's our discussion on Amazon's plans for Alexa. Up next, we'll talk about the top 5 reasons to use OpenAI's ChatGPT app for Mac. Stay tuned.
All right, moving on to our next article from Mac Rumors. OpenAI has announced the release of a desktop ChatGPT app for the Mac, which is expected to roll out in the coming weeks.
Finally, a desktop app. It's about time we got an integrated solution for Mac users. What are the top reasons to use this app, John?
Well, Joanne, there are several compelling reasons. First, the app allows users to invoke ChatGPT using a keyboard shortcut, Option Space, which brings up a small window similar to Spotlight. This makes it super convenient to ask for help without switching between windows.
That sounds really handy. Does it have any special features when you open the app?
Yes, it does. For instance, there's a paperclip button that lets you attach files or photos. You can take a screenshot of any open app window or your entire desktop and then query ChatGPT about it.
That's cool. Imagine getting a summary of top critics' reviews from a screenshot of a music article or formatting a drop-down menu text into HTML just by asking ChatGPT.
It really opens up a lot of possibilities. And I assume you can customize ChatGPT's behavior in the settings?
Exactly. You can control whether OpenAI uses your content to train its models, change the launcher shortcut, enable or disable GPT capabilities, and even add custom instructions to influence how ChatGPT responds.
Custom instructions? That's fascinating. So you could make ChatGPT respond like a thesis advisor or even a famous character?
Yes, you can even access your conversation history and switch between custom GPTs from the main window. Plus, you get to choose which version of ChatGPT to use, including the new multimodal GPT-4o model.
And let's not forget about voice chat. You can dictate your queries or start a two-way voice conversation with ChatGPT. Although there are some delays right now, OpenAI is working on real-time voice conversation features.
That's promising. Real-time voice interactions will make ChatGPT even more powerful and user-friendly. It's great to see these enhancements.
Absolutely. For those who use ChatGPT regularly on a Mac, this official app could become the go-to method. It's polished for a first version and makes interacting with ChatGPT faster and easier.
One thing to note is that the app is currently available only to ChatGPT Plus subscribers, which costs $20 per month. However, it will be available more broadly soon.
That's a bit of a wait, but it sounds worth it. I can't wait to try out the new features once it's widely available.
Me too. It's exciting to see how these tools are evolving and becoming more integrated into our daily workflows.
Absolutely. That wraps up our discussion on OpenAI's ChatGPT app for Mac. Next, we're going to talk about testing the new vision feature in ChatGPT 4o with some intriguing prompts. Stay tuned. All right, let's talk about the new vision feature in ChatGPT 4o. Tom's Guide tested it with 7 prompts, and the results were apparently mind-blowing.
I've heard great things about ChatGPT 4o's vision capabilities. How did the tests go, John?
Well, Joanne, they started by testing object recognition. They gave it an image of a red ceramic cup filled with coffee on a saucer placed on a wooden table. GPT 4o described it accurately, even mentioning the blurred background and the cozy cafe setting.
That's impressive. Did it only describe the objects, or did it give more context?
It gave a beautifully descriptive overview, even suggesting the thoughts of the person sitting at the table. For instance, it said, "This coffee is more than just a drink. It's a ritual, a cherished moment of solitude and reflection amidst the hustle of everyday life."
Wow, that's very poetic for an AI. What about its OCR capabilities?
For OCR, they tested it with an image of a weathered wooden sign that read, "Welcome to Oakville." GPT 4o not only read the text correctly, but also described the sign's vintage look and the greenery surrounding it, suggesting it might be placed at a town entrance.
That's great attention to detail. How did it handle facial recognition and emotion detection?
It described a woman's face with a friendly smile and estimated her age accurately. For emotion detection, it analyzed an older man with a wistful expression and correctly identified his contemplative mood.
It sounds like GPT-4o can understand more than just the basic elements in an image. What about scene understanding?
For scene understanding, it described a lively outdoor farmer's market, identifying the stalls, produce, and the vibrant communal atmosphere. It provided a detailed description that captured the essence of the scene.
Did they test how it handles multiple objects or variations in image quality?
Yes, they gave it a grid of 4 landscape photos with different resolutions. GPT-4o described each image's details and the variations in lighting and color, showing it could handle complex image comparisons.
What about multi-object detection? Can it identify multiple items in a crowded scene?
It did really well there, too. In an image of a cluttered desk, it described the various objects and even identified a pair of glasses placed on top of a notebook. This shows its potential as an accessibility tool.
Overall, it seems like GPT-4o has made significant strides in AI vision. Any final thoughts from Tom's Guide on this?
They were very impressed. They noted that moving to true multimodality has been a game changer for OpenAI. with GPT-4o successfully handling all their tests without major errors.
That's a glowing review. It's exciting to see how AI like this can be integrated into various applications to enhance productivity and accessibility.
Absolutely. Well, that wraps up our discussion on GPT-4o's new vision feature. Next, we'll talk about DeepMind's AlphaFold 3 and its groundbreaking ability to predict protein structures. Stay tuned.
All right, let's dive into our next topic. DeepMind has unveiled AlphaFold 3, the latest version of its AI-powered structural biology software, which can predict the structure of every protein in the universe and show how they function. This comes from Live Science.
Wow, that sounds incredible. So what exactly does AlphaFold 3 do?
AlphaFold 3 helps scientists predict how proteins, which are critical to all life forms, interact with other biological molecules like DNA and RNA. This could lead to a deeper understanding of life's processes and advancements in biorenewable materials, crops, and new drugs.
That's amazing. How does it compare to its predecessors, AlphaFold and AlphaFold 2?
Great question, Jessica. AlphaFold and AlphaFold 2 could only predict the shapes that proteins fold into. AlphaFold 3 goes a step further by showing how these proteins interact with other molecules, including small molecules known as ligands.
So it's not just about predicting shapes anymore, but also about understanding interactions at a molecular level. That's a significant advancement.
Exactly, Joanne. This deeper understanding can help in many fields, especially in drug discovery. For instance, AlphaFold 3 has outperformed traditional docking programs and neural networks in predicting how small molecules and proteins bind together.
It's incredible how accurate it is. The researchers claim it's 50% more accurate than current methods. That could revolutionize the way we approach biological research and medical treatments.
Absolutely. A biochemist from the Francis Crick Institute in London mentioned that he's been using AlphaFold 3 for predicting protein structures involved in genome copying, and the predictions have been mostly accurate.
That's really impressive. But I heard that, unlike its predecessors, AlphaFold 3 isn't open source. What's the reason behind that?
Yes, that's right. AlphaFold 3 is no longer open source, meaning scientists can't use custom versions of the AI model or access its code or training data publicly. The exact reasons for this shift haven't been fully explained, but it could be related to proprietary advancements and maintaining competitive advantages.
It's a bit of a double-edged sword. While the advancements are groundbreaking, the lack of open-source access could limit broader scientific exploration and collaboration.
Indeed, but the potential benefits of AlphaFold 3 are immense. It could help develop new drugs, improve agricultural yields, and create biorenewable materials, significantly impacting various scientific fields.
I'm excited to see how researchers leverage this technology. Even without open source access, the contributions to science and medicine could be monumental.
Absolutely. It's another example of how AI is pushing the boundaries of what's possible in science and technology.
Well, that wraps up our discussion on DeepMind's AlphaFold 3. Next, we'll be discussing Google CEO Sundar Pichai's views on AI-powered search and the future of the web. Stay tuned. All right, let's move on to our next topic. We're discussing Google CEO Sundar Pichai's views on AI-powered search and the future of the web, as shared in an interview with The Verge.
Google I/O was packed with AI announcements. What stood out to you, John?
The big news is Google rolling out AI overviews in search to everyone in the US this week, and globally by the end of the year. It's a significant change that will provide AI-powered results at the top of search queries.
That's huge. How does Sundar Pichai justify this move, especially given the potential impact on web traffic and content creators?
Pichai believes that AI overviews will create value for users by offering more context and helping them explore topics in depth. He argues that these features will actually increase engagement with content.
But there's concern from the media and publishers, right? they're worried this could reduce traffic to their sites.
Absolutely. The News Media Alliance even called it catastrophic. Many fear that if AI answers questions directly, users won't visit websites, which could harm their traffic and revenue.
Pichai mentioned the transition from desktop to mobile as a comparison. How does he see this AI integration affecting the web ecosystem?
He's optimistic. Pichai believes that transformative technologies cause short-term disruptions, but ultimately create long-term value. He says Google is committed to supporting a rich ecosystem of content creators.
He also talked about AI enhancing user experiences. How does Google plan to balance AI capabilities with the need to support content creators?
Google aims to provide context and links within AI overviews, which Pichai claims lead to higher click-through rates. They want to ensure high-quality content thrives by driving more engaged traffic.
It's interesting. Pichai also mentioned the emotional reactions from creators about AI training on their content. How does Google address those concerns?
Pichai acknowledges the concerns and emphasizes Google's approach of working with creators. For example, Google has been careful about rolling out AI music generation tools and aims to support creators through these transitions.
It's a delicate balance. Creators need to feel their work is valued and protected, especially with the rapid pace of AI advancements.
Exactly. There's also the issue of AI-generated content flooding the web. How does Google plan to maintain the quality of search results?
Google is investing heavily in search quality to differentiate high-quality content from low-quality, AI-generated spam. Pichai is confident that Google's long-term focus on quality will help them manage this challenge.
It's a challenging landscape, but it seems Google is committed to evolving responsibly. Any final thoughts on Pichai's vision for the future of the web?
Pichai envisions a richer, more multimodal web that's interactive and dynamic. He believes AI will enhance user experiences and support a vibrant ecosystem of creators and content.
Well, that's an optimistic outlook. Let's hope these changes benefit everyone involved. Next up, we'll discuss how the Indian military is ramping up its AI capabilities to keep up with regional powers. Stay tuned.
All right, let's discuss our next topic. The Indian military is ramping up its AI capabilities to keep up with regional powers like China. This news comes from Fox News.
India is definitely known for its high-tech industry. How are they applying this to their military?
India is investing in AI for military purposes, but their spending is relatively low compared to China. A report by the Delhi Policy Group says India spends around $50 million annually on AI, whereas China spends over 30 times that amount.
That's a huge gap. So what specific advancements has India made in AI for defense?
India has developed a robotic buddy that can traverse rugged terrain, remove unexploded shells, and even act as a stretcher for injured soldiers. They're also working on autonomous aquatic robots for their navy.
That's impressive. And what about their collaboration with other countries?
India is partnering with the U.S. on AI development. They have initiatives like the U.S.-India Initiative on Critical and Emerging Technologies and discussions between their defense leaders about AI capabilities.
Partnerships with countries like the U.S. could really boost their technological capabilities. How does India's talent pool factor into this?
India has a strong tech talent pool and higher English proficiency, which could give it an edge in developing AI capabilities. However, China's centralized and well-funded military system still poses a significant challenge.
What are some of the potential uses of AI in the military that were mentioned?
AI could be used in three main sectors: intelligence, training, and education. It could help with real-time simulations, patrolling borders with AI-powered drones, and reducing the need for human intervention in dangerous situations.
That sounds very forward-thinking. But there are also concerns about the misuse of AI, right?
Yes, Patrick Cronin from the Hudson Institute mentioned the potential for AI to be used for nefarious purposes like deepfakes and disinformation. The balance between beneficial and harmful uses of AI is a critical consideration.
It's a complex issue. India has a role to play in shaping the ethical use of AI in warfare. What's the outlook for India in this field?
India is making strides but still needs significant investment and development to match China. However, they are well positioned to influence the future laws and ethical standards of AI in warfare.
It's a fascinating and evolving area. Let's hope these advancements lead to more ethical and precise use of AI in military operations.
Definitely. That wraps up our discussion on the Indian military's AI advancements. Next, we'll talk about the threat from directed energy weapons in the AI era. Stay tuned. All right, everyone, let's dive into our next topic. This one is about the threat from directed energy weapons in the AI era, as reported by Scientific American.
Directed energy weapons? That sounds like something out of a sci-fi movie. What exactly are we talking about here?
Directed energy weapons, or DEWs, include high-energy lasers and high-power microwave systems. They can disrupt or destroy the sensors and electronics that autonomous systems rely on.
That's fascinating. So these weapons can essentially disable autonomous platforms by targeting their electronic components?
Exactly. The U.S. Navy has been testing these weapons, and they've successfully used a laser to knock down a small drone. DEWs create intense electromagnetic environments that can damage or destroy electronic targets.
That sounds powerful. Are there any examples of these systems being used in real-world scenarios?
Yes. During the conflict in Ukraine, microwave DEWs have been used to defeat swarms of drones. These systems disrupt the drone's electronics, causing them to fall from the sky.
It's amazing how technology that once seemed fictional is now a reality. But how vulnerable are our current autonomous systems to these kinds of attacks?
Very vulnerable, unfortunately. Most autonomous systems, including drones and driverless cars, use advanced sensors that are susceptible to these attacks. DEWs can disrupt their operations by targeting their optical and electronic components.
So, what can be done to protect these systems? Are there any measures in place to counteract DEWs?
There are some measures, but they are not yet widespread. Developers need to consider electromagnetic protection while designing these systems. Retrofitting existing systems is much more challenging and expensive.
It seems like there's a lot of work to be done to ensure these technologies are secure. How significant is the investment in DDUs currently?
The U.S. Department of Defense has been investing over $1 billion per year in DU technologies. These investments include developing both high-energy lasers and high-power microwave systems.
And what about other countries? Are they also investing heavily in these technologies?
Yes, many countries are conducting research and developing DEDUs. The race to enhance these technologies is on, as nations recognize their strategic importance in modern warfare.
It's clear that DUs are going to play a major role in future conflicts. We need to stay ahead in developing defenses against these threats.
Absolutely. This is an area where ongoing research and innovation are crucial. Ensuring the survivability of our autonomous systems against DEWs will be a significant challenge moving forward.
Let's hope that our advancements in AI and technology can keep up with these emerging threats. Next up, we'll discuss a survey showing that 8 in 10 companies plan to lay off recent college grads in 2024 unless they have one specific skill. Stay tuned.
All right, everyone, let's talk about our next topic. A survey shows that 8 in 10 companies plan to lay off recent college grads in 2024 unless they have one specific skill. This comes from Your Tango.
That sounds pretty alarming. What's driving these layoffs, John?
The main driver is the rise of artificial intelligence. Since the launch of generative AI tools like ChatGPT, many companies believe AI can easily replace the roles typically filled by recent grads and interns.
Wow, that's a major shift. So companies are actually planning to replace new hires with AI?
Yes, the survey by Intelligent.com found that nearly 8 in 10 employers are planning to lay off recent college graduates and use AI tools instead. About 70% of respondents believe AI can do these jobs more efficiently.
That's a huge percentage. How do these employers justify their trust in AI over young workers?
Many employers trust AI more than recent graduates because they see it as more reliable and cost-effective. More than half of the surveyed companies have already reduced hiring or eliminated recent grads and interns.
But isn't AI still quite flawed in many areas? I mean, we've heard plenty of stories about AI making mistakes.
Absolutely. Even experts like Jan LeCun from Meta have pointed out that AI really sucks compared to the learning capabilities of even the simplest animals. Yet, businesses are still leveraging AI heavily.
It sounds like companies are prioritizing profit over quality. But what can recent grads do to stay competitive in this changing job market?
The silver lining is that almost all survey respondents placed a high value on candidates with AI skills. 95% said they would be more likely to hire a recent grad with a background in AI.
That's good to know. So how can recent graduates acquire these AI skills without getting another degree?
Experts suggest that certification programs and boot camps, whether at universities or online platforms like Coursera, can be very effective. Participating in hackathons to show off AI skills can also be beneficial.
What about soft skills? Will those still be valuable in the AI-driven job market?
Yes, soft skills and storytelling abilities, which are hard to replicate with AI, will still be in demand. These skills can give candidates an edge in roles that require human interaction and creativity.
It seems like adapting to these changes is key. Embracing AI and developing relevant skills can help recent grads stay competitive.
Absolutely. The job landscape is evolving, and leaning into AI rather than avoiding it can provide significant advantages.
It's a challenging time, but with the right skills and mindset, recent grads can navigate these changes successfully.
Agreed. Well, that's our discussion on the impact of AI on recent grads. Next, we'll talk about Elon Musk's prediction that AI will replace all human jobs and lead to universal high income. Stay tuned.
All right, our next topic is quite a fascinating one. Elon Musk expects that AI will replace all human jobs and lead to universal high income. This was reported by the New York Post.
Musk always has some bold predictions. So, he believes AI will eliminate the need for humans to work entirely?
Yes, during his appearance at the Viva Technology Conference in Paris, he stated that there's an 80% chance AI advancements will reach a point where humans won't need jobs. Instead of universal basic income, he envisions a future with universal high income.
Universal high income. That's an interesting concept. How does Musk justify this idea?
Musk argues that with AI taking over jobs, there will be no shortage of goods or services. The real question, he says, will be about finding meaning in life if robots and computers can do everything better than humans.
That's a profound thought. If we don't have to work, how do we find purpose and meaning in our lives?
It's a major shift in perspective. Musk also mentioned the potential negative scenario where AI advancements could lead to significant trouble. Did he elaborate on that?
He did touch on that. Musk warned that in a negative scenario, all bets are off, implying that there could be severe consequences if AI development is not managed properly.
Musk has been consistent with his concerns about AI. During his discussion with UK Prime Minister Rishi Sunak, he mentioned that AI is the most disruptive force in history. What did he mean by that?
Musk believes AI will fundamentally change everything. He mentioned that there will come a point where no job is needed because AI will be able to do everything, making jobs a choice rather than a necessity.
That's a radical shift from our current economic systems. How do you think society would adapt to such changes?
It's hard to say exactly. There would need to be significant adjustments in how we view work, income, and personal fulfillment. Governments and institutions would also have to develop new frameworks to support this new reality.
It's a complex issue. The idea of universal high income could address some economic disparities, but the societal and psychological impacts would be profound.
Absolutely. Musk's vision presents both opportunities and challenges. It's crucial to think about how we can prepare for and shape this future responsibly.
Indeed. It's a thought-provoking topic that will continue to evolve as AI technology advances. Next, we'll discuss a former Facebook engineer's take on AI coding Copilot being like a demigod. Stay tuned. All right, let's dive into our next topic. A former Facebook engineer says coding with an AI copilot is like working with a demigod. This was reported by Business Insider.
A demigod? That's quite the comparison. What exactly does he mean by that?
Aditya Agarwal, the former Facebook executive, described the experience as a mind meld. He says it's like having your abilities amplified by an order of magnitude, with the AI anticipating your every move.
That sounds incredible. So, the AI copilot essentially enhances a programmer's capabilities?
Yes, exactly. Agarwal mentioned that the lines between the creator and the tool blur, making it a highly synergistic experience. The AI copilot can predict your actual intent, making coding much more efficient.
It seems like this could revolutionize how programmers work. What are some of the specific benefits Agarwal highlighted?
He emphasized that the AI goes beyond simple autocomplete functions. It uses large language models like GPT-4 to help with more complex tasks, effectively boosting the programmer's creativity and productivity.
That's fascinating. It's like having a super-powered assistant right by your side. Did he mention any potential downsides or challenges?
While Agarwal didn't discuss downsides in his post, the article does mention that the introduction of AI tools has increased anxiety about the future of work, particularly in programming. There's concern about displacement and the need to adapt to new technologies.
That makes sense. It's a double-edged sword. AI can make jobs easier, but also poses a threat to job security.
Exactly. It's important to find a balance. How did Agarwal see the future of AI tools in creative pursuits?
He believes that many creative activities will head in the direction of co-creation with AI. The tools will become integral to the creative process, enhancing and collaborating with human creators.
It's exciting to think about the possibilities. AI could open up new avenues for creativity and innovation.
Absolutely. It's about leveraging these tools to enhance human potential rather than replace it. This collaboration between humans and AI could lead to unprecedented breakthroughs.
Indeed, Agarwal's insights provide a glimpse into the future of programming and creative work with AI. It's an evolving landscape that will require us to adapt and embrace new possibilities.
Well, that's a wrap on this topic. Next, we'll discuss why Gen Z students who studied AI might need to rethink their majors. Stay tuned.
All right, let's move on to our next topic. This one is about a Gen Z software engineer who studied AI in college and says you shouldn't major in it if you fall into one of three categories. This was reported by Business Insider.
That sounds interesting. What are the three categories he mentioned?
Sajjad Khader, the engineer, mentioned that you should rethink majoring in AI if you struggle with attention, math, and commitment.
Attention, math, and commitment. Can you elaborate on that?
Sure. First, if you have a low attention span, AI might not be for you. Khader mentioned that much of the work in AI can be tedious and require long periods of focus.
That makes sense. What about the math aspect?
AI involves a lot of math, beyond just coding. Khader pointed out that many AI courses are heavily math-focused, and this can be challenging if you're not comfortable with theoretical and complex math.
And the commitment part?
Khader emphasized that AI requires a long-term commitment. Projects can take a lot of time to yield results, and you often have to keep learning and adapting. If you struggle with commitment, this might be a tough field for you.
That's valuable advice. So if someone isn't suited for majoring in AI, what are their options?
Khader mentioned that even if you don't major in AI, you can still work in tech. You can take AI courses later or focus on other tech areas that don't require a deep dive into AI.
That's reassuring. Are there other tech fields that offer good career opportunities without specializing in AI?
Yes, for example, web development, software engineering, and other roles are still in demand. Alan Tran, another tech professional, chose web application development over AI and works at Amazon. He mentioned that AI-centric companies still need people to build and support other services.
It's good to know there are diverse paths in tech. And what if someone still wants to learn AI skills without majoring in it?
There are many options like coding boot camps and online courses. Harper Carroll, a former Meta employee, said that a solid foundation in AI can help, but boot camps and similar experiences can also suffice for many roles.
It's encouraging to hear that there are flexible ways to gain AI skills. This advice could really help students make informed decisions about their careers.
Absolutely. Understanding your strengths and preferences is key. Next, we'll discuss how the FTC chair suggests that AI models could violate antitrust laws. Stay tuned. Okay, our next topic is about the FTC chair, Lina Khan, stating that AI models could violate antitrust laws. This report comes from The Hill.
Antitrust laws and AI. That's an interesting intersection. What did Lina Khan specifically say about this?
Khan mentioned that companies training their AI models on data from news websites, artists' creations, or personal information could be violating antitrust laws. She highlighted this during the Wall Street Journal's Future of Everything festival.
So, what are the main concerns here? Is it about data scraping?
Exactly. Khan pointed out that data scraping by major companies could hinder competition and potentially violate people's privacy rights. This could be seen as an unfair method of competition under the FTC Act.
And what about the use of people's data without their consent? How does that play into this?
Khan emphasized that using people's data without their knowledge or consent raises significant legal concerns. If companies make misleading representations when you sign up and then secretly use your data to train AI models, that could be considered deceptive and unfair.
That's a big issue. People often don't realize their data is being used in this way. Did she mention anything about companies changing their terms of service to allow this data use?
Yes, Khan addressed that too. She noted that many people feel violated when companies retroactively change their terms of service to use customers' content, such as personal photos or videos, for AI training.
I can see why people would feel that way. It's a bit like being forced to choose between using essential services and giving up your privacy.
Exactly. Khan described it as a tough spot for people, especially when these services are essential for daily life. The so-called choice isn't much of a choice at all.
Did Khan suggest any solutions or ways to address these issues?
She mentioned that many government agencies need to play an important role as AI continues to develop. She believes that the government cannot be completely hands-off and needs to be more involved in regulating AI.
It's clear that regulation is needed to protect consumers and ensure fair competition. This is a complex issue that will require careful consideration and action.
Absolutely. It will be interesting to see how these regulations evolve and how companies adapt to them. Next, we'll talk about a political consultant behind AI-powered Biden robocalls facing 24 criminal charges and a $6 million fine. Stay tuned.
All right, folks, our next topic is quite a scandalous one. A New Hampshire political consultant is facing 24 criminal charges and a $6 million fine for AI-powered Biden robocalls. This news comes from Fox News.
Wow, 24 charges? What exactly did this consultant do?
Steve Kramer, the consultant, admitted to commissioning robocalls that used AI to mimic President Biden's voice. The calls were made to discourage people from participating in the primary election.
That's pretty serious. What did the robocalls actually say?
The calls told recipients, "It's important that you save your vote for the November election," and added, "Your vote makes a difference in November, not this Tuesday."
I can see how that would cause a lot of confusion and potential harm. How did the authorities respond?
New Hampshire Attorney General John Formella said his office immediately opened an investigation after receiving multiple reports and complaints. They worked with the Anti-Robocall Multi-State Litigation Task Force and the FCC's Enforcement Bureau.
And Kramer's reason for doing this was what exactly?
Kramer claimed it was a stunt to demonstrate the need for regulating AI technology. He said, "Maybe I'm a villain today, but I think in the end, we get a better country and better democracy because of what I've done deliberately."
That's a bold statement. Did this incident lead to any changes in the law?
Yes, the FCC ruled the practice illegal in February and adopted a ruling recognizing calls made with AI-generated voices as artificial under the Telephone Consumer Protection Act. This gives state attorneys general new tools to combat voice cloning scams.
It's good to see that there are measures being put in place to prevent this kind of misuse. What did the FCC chairwoman have to say about it?
FCC Chairwoman Jessica Rosenworcel said, "Bad actors are using AI-generated voices in unsolicited robocalls to extort vulnerable family members, imitate celebrities, and misinform voters. We're putting the fraudsters behind these robocalls on notice."
It's reassuring to know that authorities are taking these issues seriously. Hopefully, this sets a strong precedent against the misuse of AI.
Indeed, it's a critical step in ensuring technology is used responsibly. Next up, we'll discuss an intriguing discovery about a bug that no one wants to fix in large language models. Stay tuned.
All right, everyone, our next topic is a fascinating and somewhat troubling story about a bug in large language models. This comes from the Register.
Oh, this sounds intriguing. What's the bug about?
Well, the author discovered a prompt that causes various LLMs to crash and babble nonsensically. It's being called the LLM kryptonite.
That sounds pretty serious. How did the author stumble upon this bug?
He was working on a project for an intellectual property attorney and created a prompt to classify information. When he tested it on Microsoft Copilot Pro, it started out fine, but then descended into babble.
So it wasn't just Copilot Pro that had this issue?
No, he tried other models like Mixtral, Gemini, ChatGPT Plus, and more. All of them, except for Anthropic's Claude 3 Sonnet, exhibited the same problem.
Wow, that's quite a widespread issue. Did he report this bug to the companies?
He did. He sent feedback to Microsoft and other LLM as a service providers like Grok. Grok confirmed the issue across their models, but there was little response from others.
How did Microsoft respond?
Microsoft's security team reviewed the report, but dismissed it as a product bug rather than a security vulnerability.
It seems like there's a big communication gap between users and these AI companies. Did he get any responses from other companies?
Many didn't respond at all. One prominent startup even had a bounce-back email when he tried contacting their security team.
That's shocking. With such significant implications, you'd think they'd take it more seriously.
Absolutely. What does this mean for the future of these AI models?
The author believes it highlights a fundamental flaw in the development and support systems of LLMs. Companies need to be more responsive and have better channels for bug reporting.
It's a wake-up call for the industry. These tools are becoming integral to many applications and need robust support systems.
Definitely. It's a reminder that with great power comes great responsibility. AI developers need to ensure their products are safe and reliable.
Exactly. Next up, we'll talk about how a Google Pixel phone turns someone's photos into AI nightmares. Stay tuned. All right, folks, next up is a wild ride into the world of AI-powered photo editing gone wrong. This one's from Digital Trends.
Oh, this sounds like it's going to be fun. What happened?
The author experimented with the magic editor in Google Photos on the new Google Pixel 8a. The AI feature is supposed to enhance and stylize photos, but the results were often terrifying.
Terrifying. How bad could it be?
Well, let's start with a photo of a sheep and her lamb. The AI transformed them into creatures better suited for a horror movie, with elongated jaws that look straight out of Silent Hill.
Yikes, that does sound creepy. What else did it do?
A serene scene of swans on a lake was turned into a hellscape with swans frozen on a lake of charred moss, and some seemed to be growing out of the ground. It looked like a nuclear holocaust memorial.
Wow, that's a drastic change. Did it do the same to other animals?
Absolutely. It turned a cute squirrel into a creature with one short forearm and one unnaturally long forearm, plus lifeless black eyes. It also gave another squirrel bat-like ears and fearsome paws.
This AI really seems to have a problem with animals. Any more examples?
Oh yes, it created a multi-legged, eyeless giraffe that looked like it belonged in a nightmare, and a camel with Dalmatian-like skin and a bony growth where its hump should be.
It sounds like these photos are turning into scenes from a horror movie. What else did the AI mess up?
The AI also made a Shetland pony look like a hybrid of a dog and a pony, a hawk less intimidating by softening its beak and plumage, and a sheep made of burlap with a half-normal face and a mouth full of crooked fangs.
I can't believe how bizarre these transformations are. Did it mess up any other animals?
Yes, the AI's masterpiece was a tortoise transformed into a nightmarish fusion of a fish, zebra, red panda, and lizard. It was like something out of a twisted lab experiment.
It's amazing and terrifying what AI can do. It sounds like Google's AI needs a bit more fine-tuning when it comes to animals.
Definitely. So, do you dare to use Google's generative AI on your wildlife and pet photos? Just don't blame us for any nightmares.
I'll stick to regular photo editing for now. Thanks. What's next on the agenda?
Next, we'll discuss some leaked documents from OpenAI that show Sam Altman was aware of silencing former employees. Stay tuned. All right, team, let's dive into some intense revelations about OpenAI and its CEO, Sam Altman. This one comes from Futurism.
Oh boy, what's Altman been up to now?
Well, according to leaked documents, it turns out Altman was aware of OpenAI pressuring employees into signing non-disclosure and non-disparagement agreements by threatening to claw back their vested equity.
Clawing back vested equity. That's highly unusual, especially in Silicon Valley where equity is a major part of compensation.
Exactly. It's almost unheard of. Employees typically forgo high salaries in exchange for equity, hoping to get rich if the startup succeeds. For OpenAI to threaten this to control former employees' narratives is quite a bad look.
Did Altman acknowledge this issue?
He did. After the report by Vox, he took to X, formerly Twitter, to admit there was a provision about potential equity cancellation in their exit documents, but claimed he didn't know about it.
And do we believe him? It sounds like a convenient excuse.
That's the thing. Vox's follow-up revealed documentation showing that Altman and other leaders, like Chief Strategy Officer Jason Kwan, signed documents that included these clauses. Altman's signature is on incorporation documents containing language about clawing back equity.
So, unless his signature was forged, he either didn't read the documents he signed or he's lying about not knowing.
This makes Altman's apology sound even more insincere. What did Vox find about how employees were treated on their way out?
Employees were reportedly given just 7 days to make a decision about their future, with OpenAI reps emphasizing the threat of clawbacks. They were told not signing could impact their equity.
That's pretty coercive. How did OpenAI respond to Vox's questions?
Kwan gave a non-answer, saying they were sorry for the distress caused and were working to fix it, despite himself also signing documents with these provisions.
Sounds like damage control. This isn't the first time Altman's honesty has been questioned. Remember last year's corporate coup attempt?
Exactly. Those who tried to oust him claimed he was inconsistently candid with the board. And now, with the safety team departures and a legal issue with Scarlett Johansson, it's a mess.
It's getting harder to trust OpenAI's leadership. They talk about their mission to benefit humanity, but their actions don't match their words.
Transparency seems to be lacking. If they want to lead in AI, they need to fix these trust issues fast.
Absolutely. Up next, we'll discuss Microsoft's new AI tool, which some are calling a privacy nightmare. Stay tuned. Welcome back, everyone. This is the last article of the episode, and we're diving into some serious privacy concerns with Microsoft's new Recall AI tool, according to Wired.
All right, let's hear it. What has Microsoft done now?
Microsoft plans to launch a tool called Recall on its upcoming Copilot Plus PCs. This tool takes screenshots of users' computers every few seconds.
Wait, it takes constant screenshots? That sounds like a huge privacy risk.
Exactly. Microsoft claims it's to help users find the content you have viewed on your device, and they assure that the images are stored locally in an encrypted drive.
But let me guess, privacy advocates are not happy about this.
Right. Watchdogs are calling it a privacy nightmare, noting that it doesn't redact sensitive information like passwords or financial details.
That's a massive oversight. Even if the data is stored locally, the risk of exposure is still there.
How is Microsoft defending this tool against such criticisms?
Microsoft says an intruder would need both the password and physical access to the device to view the screenshots. They believe this should mitigate any privacy concerns.
But that doesn't address the inherent risk of having such sensitive data continuously recorded. It's like they're inviting trouble.
Plus, it sounds eerily similar to surveillance software used by law enforcement. Are they not seeing the parallels?
Ironically, Microsoft even acknowledges the similarity, but they're pushing forward regardless. It's a troubling direction for tech companies to take.
This just adds to the growing concerns about tech companies and privacy. Users need to be very cautious about these new features.
Absolutely. And that's a wrap for this episode. Thanks for tuning in, everyone.
Yes, thank you for joining us. Stay informed and stay safe out there.
And remember, always question the tools and features that claim to enhance your tech experience. Until next time.
Thanks to Joanne and Jessica for their insights, and to all our listeners. We'll catch you on the next episode.